Hey, it's Adam with Theros Media. Today with the Google Ads breakdown, we're looking at air control, heating, and cooling out of Tallahassee, Florida. So we're going to look at their advertising, what they're currently doing, look at their landing page, and see how they can double the effectiveness of their advertising and something hopefully you can take away so you can use it in your advertising as well. So as of right now, this is the page that they're running advertising to, their homepage. So you can see here, air conditioning Tallahassee, new air conditioning installation. And the keyword we pulled them up for was ductless air conditioner. So this ad does not speak to what they actually were, the search terms they're pulling up for. So we recommend them going through their search terms because this is like an ad built for air conditioning installation. So this is a great ad for that. But for ductless, it's not. So go through your search terms. Make sure you're showing up for the keywords or the search terms you want to show up for the keywords that you're bidding on. If you're bidding on ductless, create a totally new ductless campaign. Typically, we advertise only for product lines and then service lines inside that product line. Service lines meaning service, repair, installation. Service repair might be the same thing to you, but for your customer, it's just not. Repair and service are two different things. Service and maintenance are basically the same thing. Repairing is actually repairing what is broken. So, 3 different types of advertising you should be doing for each product line that you're advertising for. And usually for a contractor that's spending less than 10 grand a month, you really only want to be bidding on 1 or 2 different product lines and then 1 service line each. Because it's a high cost per click, low budget industry for the most part, you don't have the budget to go after everything. So stick to your highest value clients possible. Typically, that's your changeouts and your boilers repairs. A lot of times you want to, you might be having a specialty service like a geothermal service or oil service, oil furnace service, boilers. A lot of people don't do oil. A lot of people don't do geothermal. A lot of people don't do high velocity. So you might want to go after those specifically if you have the budget for it. But stick to, as a general rule, stick to 1 or 2 product lines and then 1 service line within that product line because of the budget that you have. So, air conditioning installation keyword, it looks like you're showing up for, installation. You're running into a home page, which is never good. You're going to send people here, and if you have some type of heat mapping software installed, you're going to see that you're going to lose almost every single person you send to your homepage from your advertising. And the reason that is because they're coming in and they need to see 3 or 4 things, and they're not seeing any of that. They only get to see who you are. They don't see what you do and how you can help them. Those are the 3 things you want to focus your landing page on. So, who you are, what you do, how you can help them, and they need to see that within the first, you have 4 or 5 seconds to show them exactly that. And usually that's done with the headline on the page, the picture on the page, and then the logo on the very top. But with the home page, you can't show them at all. So this is never the best thing, never a good thing. The stat is, there are a couple stats out there. The 2 I like to cite is the average website page versus the average landing page. The average landing page has a 500% higher conversion rate than the average website page. And then comparing landing pages, a landing page with a menu versus a landing page without a menu. Landing page without a menu has a 100% higher conversion rate than a landing page with a menu. So having a dedicated landing page is best practice, and you're always going to do good doing that. And running it to a home page is never going to be the answer for anybody. It's just, in my opinion, a little lazy. You can have run it to a service page. So air conditioning installation, you have an air conditioning installation service page on your website. Why not just run the traffic there? Just, it makes it more congruent, makes a little more sense for the people who are seeing your advertisements. And then once that's done, if you have a form on this page, you should have a form on this page. It looks like this page is pretty short actually. So I wouldn't run it here. You should build a dedicated landing page for your advertising, so you know exactly what's happening on your website page and you have the best conversion rate possible. I do like that's a mini split on your air conditioning installation page. I guess you can do that. Anyway, next thing is, the website does have tracking on it installed, so it has Facebook pixel. So, that we're going to talk about that later. You do have a branded campaign, which is going to be imperative for you, especially because competitors in your area are going to be bidding on your brand name. This goes for all HVAC companies. Typically, HVAC companies have they have search terms in their brand name, so heating and cooling, and other companies are going to bid on that. They're going to inadvertently bid on your brand name. This is like an actual branding ad that they're bidding on your brand name for. Maybe you're a big company in that area and they want to take some of your traffic. Having a branded campaign is going to help you a ton. And Google will typically, if you're bidding enough, Google's going to show this in the place that's effective. You don't actually need to be number one all the time. It's going to show it in the place that's more effective. So if it's number 2 here, that's probably the most effective because you have the most real estate and you're going to be right above your name here. So I wouldn't worry too much about your search, your number 1 impression share for Google, for your brand search terms, if you're spending enough money. And your Google homepage looks good. I see, yep, it looks pretty good. I wouldn't worry too much about this Yelp review. 5 reviews, 3 stars, that's pretty good for Yelp. Yelp is usually where people go to complain. So you're doing fine with your branding, I guess we call it. Then going to the Facebook page. Your Facebook page is updated pretty frequently. It looks like it's once a week, which is totally fine. Typically, we recommend contractors update their Facebook page once every 2 weeks. So this is totally fine. You aren't running any advertising right now, which is not the worst thing in the world. But typically, actually you are, my fault. I got this confused. So your advertising looks pretty good. I like the way it's structured. This is typical for companies that lack copy skills. So you'll see some of our ads look like this because they just work. They just simply work. But some of our ads are long form, short form, just because we know how to write copy here. But you'll see stuff like this for companies that are using a template. So it's totally fine to use a template. I mean, cater it towards you, but don't get stuck with it because eventually it's not going to work. You're going to need to find something else. So the Facebook ads are okay. They're running to your service pages, which is not the best. Let's take a look, see where this is going. Let's see where it forwards us. Yeah, it's going to your Air Control Club. So you don't have dedicated landing pages for your advertising, which you should. It's always a good strategy to do that. I don't see retargeting ads for your Google advertising. If you are running retargeting ads, I would see something towards AC installation because you have AC installation ad on Google. You're spending the expensive money on Google to get them to your website. So usually Google's the most expensive. And you retarget cheaper on Facebook, but it's going to be high quality traffic because they've been to your page already. Maybe the retargeting's a little off because of the update for Facebook, but you can still advertise on here and then retarget people who've clicked on your ads or had some interaction with your page, and that'll get you going for retargeting. So retargeting ads are going to be built around. You want to have a comprehensive strategy for your advertising. Google is going to usually be the initial cold traffic, bringing it into the website. And then you're going to have some type of retargeting. Facebook is usually the easiest to use because they have lead forms and they have the lowest area to entry for retargeting ads. You only need 25 people on your retargeting list. For Google, you need 1,000. So Facebook is usually the easiest, and it's still effective. I'm not sure why people are hating on Facebook now. It's still effective for contractors. E-commerce, a little not as much because everything's going to the website. But if you're using Facebook I forget what it's called, commerce, whatever it's called, then it's still effective. I'm not sure why people are hating on it. But retargeting. Make a comprehensive strategy for what you're doing on Google to what you're doing on Facebook. Should be, you're bidding on one or two product lines on Google. Should have 1 or 2 product line retargeting on Facebook as well. Going back to either where the Google went to or Facebook lead form is going to be effective for you. So those are a couple things we do first things first is get the ads that are working or that should be showing up. If you're not bidding on ductless specifically, then you need a little bit of keyword pruning. You're going to take out the search terms that don't matter to you, leaving the ones that do. We've done this for our contractors over and over and over again. The biggest, most dramatic example we have is a contractor spent $2,900 on Google Ads, got $89,000 back in revenue. So about close to 40 times return on their money, just because, we're bidding on the search terms that matter to them. If you're not getting at least 8 times return on your advertising, if you're a contractor, then you are doing something that shouldn't be doing it, because most contractors' budget is about 10 to 12% of their revenue, their advertising budget. If it's 12%, you need 8 times return. If it's 10%, you need 10 times return. So the smaller your budget, the more return you need from your advertising. And you get that by doing things that work. And this is not one of those things. You're bidding on a keyword ductless air conditioner, showing them air conditioning installation ads, not the same thing. Not going to work that well. Then you're running traffic to your homepage, which is nowhere near ideal. Give them a landing page, a dedicated landing page. So that's going to help you a ton. And then retargeting people who have, let's see, I don't see mini splits on here at all. Maybe you don't do them, but you're just bidding on the keyword for whatever reason. So, and then retargeting from the advertising you're doing on Google to advertising on Facebook. You should be retargeting at the very least on Facebook. You're running cold traffic ads, but you're not retargeting anybody who's been to your website. It's like sending out a designer to someone's house and them never following up with their estimate if they didn't close it on the first go. You would never do that. You would never tell your designers to do that. So you shouldn't do that in your advertising. So, this has been Adam with Eros Media. If you have any questions, let us know. Comment below and let us know that if you think we missed anything in their initial advertising audit. And these things can go, we do advertising audits that last 2 or 3 hours, just going through ad accounts and stuff like that. So, these things can be very time consuming, but this is what we can initially see from their advertising. So, let us know if we missed anything, or if you agree with this, we disagree, whatever you want to do. In the comments below. We'll talk to you soon.